Hello again. My name is Marcel Ackerman and my student number is 55771890. This is the walkthrough to my financial calculator. Now, starting off, we have the home page. The home page welcomes the user to the calculator. It also gives a short description of what it does. This calculator can perform many calculations that include converting interest rates, getting the calculations of single investments, annuities, loans, and increasing annuities. To learn how it works, please use the guide. Now, included in the home page is the button that will direct you to a short guide. In the guide, there's a short description of what to do. But if you haven't watched my PowerPoint presentation yet, please do so by clicking on this button. It will direct the user to the video. So starting off, I will use the navigation column on the left hand side and click the interest converter button to navigate to the interest rate converter. As you can see, I've already entered some values here for my calculations. I've added drop-down lists to my calculator for a more user-friendly approach. You can calculate which interest rate you would like to convert from and to which interest rate you would like to convert to. The black cell will contain the answer to your calculations. As well, there's also a clear button that I will press now after the graphs. So I've included two graphs as well. It will show you the interest rate per period or the difference in size between them per period. But remember, the periods are different as well. One is yearly and the other one is monthly, because in reality these interest rates are the same or equal. And then there's a yearly interest rate comparison that shows you that they are fairly equal. Okay, now by pressing the clear button, it will clear all of the cells from the information that your user has entered. Okay, I've entered some information for the investment calculator already. As you can see, you can calculate the interest rate type that you want to use for your calculations by selecting it from the drop-down list provided. I want to use effective periodic, for example, to calculate the future value, but you can select the requested information from the drop-down list as well, for example, years. The answer to your calculations will be given in the black cell again. When calculating years, it will be rounded to the full amount of period. For example, because 4.2478 years isn't completely full in periods, you can round it to the full periods. I've also added a time period calculator where you enter the exact start of your investment and the end of your investment, and it will calculate the exact amount of years between them. Included in my investment calculator is a memory block where you can add, for example, information to use at a later stage. I've included an interest earned picture that will tell you the interest that your investment has earned over its full period of time, as well as the accumulation factor will be shown, or by selecting the discount factor from the drop-down list, it will show you the discount factor. Included as well is a graph that will show you or help the user visualize the sizes between the future value, the present value, and the interest earned for the investment. Now, by using the navigation column to navigate to the annuities calculator, you will see that I've already entered some values here. Now, the annuities calculator will calculate the accumulated value or present value using constant payments made in arrears or advance. You can select arrears or advance in this drop-down list. The dash is used for when you are using a continuous interest rate. You can select if you are using a continuous interest rate or effective periodic interest rate using this drop-down list. Note, the annuities calculator can only use effective periodic interest rate or continuous interest rate. So please be sure to do that. If not, use the interest rate converter the first part of the calculator. Okay, and then included, I've added a time period calculator. You can reveal it by selecting the drop-down list. From the drop-down list, calculate amount of years from dates. By entering the start of your annuity and the end of your annuity, it will calculate the total years of it. Okay. With this, I've added a way to handle initial investment amounts from which you add your annuity or withdraw your annuity from. You can select if it's an addition or withdrawal from this drop-down list, and can as well use the time period calculator here. The answer to your adjusted initial investment with the addition or withdrawal of your annuity will be displayed in the black cell here. I've included a memory block again to store information that you will need at a later stage. Okay. Then there's some graphs. Graphs will show you the growth of your annuity over a time period of 10 years. For example, the payment amount, let's enter it here. And I'll show you how much your payments are, the total amount you have paid up to 10 years, and then the amount your payments have grown up to by 10 years. And with that, there's a future value, present value, and payment amount comparison again. And a clear button has been included to clear all of the information that you have used or entered. Now, after navigating to the loan calculator, by looking at the navigation column on the left, you will see that your loan calculator tab has been highlighted in gray again. Okay, so to select which information you want to calculate in using your loan calculator, you select it from the drop-down list. I want to calculate capital over term, for example, and then click on it. Again, note, for this calculator, you can only use effective periodic interest rate. It will give you a warning, effective periodic only. Otherwise, use the converter and leave this cell blank. It will pull whatever percentage is in the black answer cell of the interest rate converter to the loan calculator and use that for your calculations instead. Okay. With the loan calculator, I've included the time period calculator again for when you have exact dates of your loan, start and end, and then when calculating specific items like capital over a term or capital component at K, use this block shown here to enter the term that you want to calculate between, or the specific period at, or anything other than that. If you want to calculate the outstanding balance immediately after or before the payment, you can select it from the drop-down list here and will give you the value just before the payment or right after. Okay. Again, there's a memory block included to store values that you will need for a later stage, and graphs. This graph is user interactive, meaning you can see by using the scroll bar on the bottom, you can navigate through all of the different payments for your loan. Outstanding balance at payment 33 or 31 example, value is 220,000 Rand. Okay, there's a loan amount versus total interest graph as well that will show you the size of your loan compared to the total interest that you have paid. By going back to the top of the loan calculator, we look at these buttons here. There's an amortization button, and then there's a button to use when you want to accommodate smaller or larger payments. Now first we'll look at the amortization table button. When clicking on it, it will direct you to a page with a scroll bar that shows you the amortization table for the current loan. Okay. Using the scroll bar, you can scroll through all of the payments made or periods of the loan. And then at the bottom of the amortization table, you have a specific search function that when searching for a period, for example 18, it will bring up the starting balance, repayment amount, interest component, capital component, and outstanding balance for that period. As you can see, it matches that the amortization table. Now then we go back and we look at when we have smaller or larger payments. Now we have the amortization table again, but then using the additional payments column, you can select a specific time period, for example 21, and say that I want to, for this time period, I want to pay an additional 2,000 Rand, and it will adjust your outstanding balance and your components according to this. Or when you want to pay a smaller amount, you just add the amount that you want to pay, the amount smaller than the original repayment amount, as a negative, for example negative 2,000, and your components and your outstanding balances will be adjusted as well as your time period for the loan. Yeah. After navigating to the increasing annuities page of the calculator, you'll see that I've added some values again. Okay. The increasing annuities will calculate the present value or future value or payment amount of increasing annuities with an increase rate for each payment. Okay, so you can calculate what information you want, or you can select which information you want to calculate from the drop-down list below and use the drop-down list above to select which information you are giving, or according to which way you want to calculate the information. Okay, I've also again included a way for when you have initial investment amount that has been sitting, for example 20 years, and then you want to withdraw from that initial investment amount with your increasing annuity, or add to it. You can select withdraw or add using a drop-down list provided here, and then you can use the date or time period calculator to calculate the period of that initial investment. As you can see, the answer in the black cell will be that of the accumulation value of the initial amount plus the increasing annuity provided here. This works for both annuity 1 and annuity 2. As you can see, annuity 1 and annuity 2. Note, to calculate the adjusted present value or any subsequent values, use the single investment calculator and subtract the initial amount's accumulated value from the combined accumulation value. Okay. Yeah, note, this calculator again only uses effective periodic interest rate. If you have a different interest rate, use the interest rate converter, and then it will pull this interest rates in the black cell to the increasing annuities page. Okay. I've included a memory block once again for you to store your values to use at a later stage, and then some graphs as well. The graphs will show you the increase of the payments, by which they increase every period or every next period, and then the growth of the increasing annuity over a period. With that, I've also included the increase rates versus the interest rates of all the increase rates versus the interest rates of the annuities. Example, interest rate is 10%, for example. It will show you the interest rate versus the increase rate. Again, you can use the clear button to clear all of the cells in which you have entered your information. Now we will navigate to the Extra Calculations tab. This tab is a space to store values and extra calculations for in-between calculations. This is for when your other memory blocks are full. Okay. At the bottom of the Extra Calculations page, you will see links to a currency converter, live stocks, business news, inflation rates, and a portfolio tracker. And please note, the portfolio tracker does require a sign in. By pressing the currency converter button, the page will direct you to a currency converter where you can calculate or convert between all the currencies of the world. Okay. Then the live stocks directs you to a page with stocks updated throughout the day of all South African shares or part of the JSE. And then there's a business news button that takes you to the latest in business news. We can this also updates regularly, so you can stay up to date with everything going on in the world. And there's our inflation rates. This is for South Africa. It's predictions. It's what happened in the last few months, and it gives you a graph. And then again, the portfolio tracker requires sign up. So the user will have to sign up. But this button does connect you to a tracker that is trusted. So thank you very much for watching my video and walkthrough of the calculator. And again, if you have not watched my presentation yet, please go to the guide and click on the button that will direct you to the PowerPoint guide. Thank you.